begun the DCU has. Hello and welcome to Cinema, where we focus on a film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of the first episodes of Creature Commandos. Is it good, is it bad, or somewhere right in the middle? Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already to join in film culture community where we talk about a lot of cinema as a whole. And getting right into the synopsis, Amanda Waller assembles the Creature Commandos led by Rick Flag Sr. in order to defend the princess from the Cersei. And taking it into the positive, just the general way they go about this show, it's pretty quick paced. The natural ideas and things they're doing, getting into the exploration of these characters, they're creatures that I'm unfamiliar with. So I'm sure throughout the show, there's going to be a lot of depth that we can get from these characters, what we're getting out of them so far. There's certainly something from the Bride, from Frankenstein, certain characters that it's compelling to the nature of what we get out the action, and just seeing some pieces of the history that we're already building up to. And this has been said that all the media that James Gunn is creating for the DCU is being set to be watched on its own, so you can watch only the Superman movie that's coming out next year and not have to be weighing in on this as of what we know of thus far. Of course, this is only the first project that's officially part of the DCU, and so how that comes about can make it just an enjoyable watch, not too much weight on its shoulders, expecting something down the road that mentions too much heavy reference to what is going on within this mission. While we may get some of these Creature Commandos in live action, there's something about seeing this animation, seeing the fight choreography, things that come about. It's not heavy weighted in the sense of believability, of people being able to sustain a fall, things that are going about with their fighting tactics, that you can enjoy the action just for what it is. Certain emotional weights with the character death, what you're exploring, especially out of the Bride in episode 2, and the example in episode 1, how they build up and assemble the team just progressively, rather quickly, gave me a few laughs along the way, and just becomes entertaining in a dumb popcorn fun kind of way. Which takes me right into the mix elements, to which this is not part of the DCEU, but there are some references that come about with the Suicide Squad, James Gunn part of that you're gonna have to remember pieces of information that he is now making canon to the DCU. His films, the DC Studios' new rebooted form of the DC Comics. And so bringing in the Weasel from this and referencing the Battle of the Starfish, how that comes about could make things a little complicated, but generally we may be able to catch on, but it could throw some people off, just letting you know what's all referenced within this show. And there are sex scenes, one in the first, another in the second, that isn't too overly explicit, but it does show a sense of nudity to some regard. It's not necessarily a kid show, it's avoidable to that sense, but it also outlines certain audience members that could be just going in wanting to watch a fun superhero film, and this one sort of outlines that sort of standard that you could be expecting, just putting on a fun cartoon for children. And that goes into my negatives, to which this film feels a bit rushed. These are about 24-minute episodes. That doesn't include the credits. That may take up a few minutes of that time as well. And that just rushes the development. The first part of the episode just goes about, introduces them rather quickly, which, yes, we kind of got that the same in the original The Suicide Squad movie, but it still provided enough depth along the way to build up and develop the characters. And while we may get that, and I may change my mind and retract my statement by the end of the series, what we got so far sort of throws us into the loop. I almost forget what the problem that they're going into is all about. immediately after they sort of go about these different tangents, why they're creating the Creature Commandos, because you're trying to pay attention to all these different new characters you're getting introduced to with different names that you're not familiar with if you're not familiar with the comics. And so people that know the comics, know these characters already, can already pinpoint exactly what to memorize about them. Me personally, yes, there's funny gimmicks, funny gags here and there, but it also rushes certain development issues, certain things that in episode 2, it utilizes flashbacks to bring in what the Bride is all about, and Frankenstein is a character I don't quite click with the sense where he's very harsh, very quick-witted, because the nature of him being not necessarily having a brain. But that's not a lovable character that I can have, at least what I'm seeing thus far. It does end with a sharp cliffhanger that can be good in making me engaged and watching more and more, not necessarily knowing what is going to be reversed or sort of put on a tangent of things not looking as they appear, and so things just coming about along the way. I'm just very mixed on this show as a whole, which is not what I expected to go into, even though there's so many great moments, certain gags, and great action that pulls about along the way. Ultimately, my main issue now is it may be way too short for what I was expecting. So that's just my personal review for the Creature Commandos episodes 1 and 2, which I have to rate a general 6.5 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the first 2 episodes. Was it good? Was it bad? Or somewhere right in the middle? Make sure to like this video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already to join in the film culture community where we talk about a lot of cinema as a whole. So that's just all, and make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.